I slept extra long today. This is coming off like it looks so raggedy. I was like tearing boxes up with my hands, washing dishes, doing all kinds of crap to make this move happen. And now that it's done, I gotta spend time like putting it together. And my body is better, but it was so sore. And so I slept extra long. And my alarm at my other apartment kept going off all day yesterday. So I kept getting calls from the security company, and I kept getting calls I got a call at 5:30 in the morning from the police, and they were saying they were outside knocking on the back windows and stuff. It's like, yeah, nobody's there, but thanks for checking. So I got to deal with that alarm system, and I have to get some more stuff for this apartment, and then I'm just gonna take it easy. What I really want to do is put my tree up and bake some cookies and play some Pentatonix Christmas music. So that's what I'm gonna be doing some light cleaning, because I mean, you know, I'm excited, but I'm here now, so I don't have to rush to get everything together, but I do want to be comfortable, so I'll just keep working on that project, because the sooner I get that done, then I can go back to taking photos for my products and getting stuff together for work again. So yeah, I'm just gonna make a couple of runs to take care of some things. I gotta do a little bit of shopping for the house. I don't know if I'm gonna film that, but if I do, maybe it'll just be me behind the camera type of thing, you know. We'll see. This has been a journey. This apartment is the realization of my dream. I've been wanting to live in Chicago. I wanted to live in a big city, and Chicago made sense because it's not too far from my family in Indianapolis, and I can, you know, have my own space, do my own thing in the big city, and then go home to visit. So I've always wanted to be in a big city / in Chicago. And when I got here, it wasn't the dream that I thought. So this is good. Okay, let me sit you down. This is good. So let me tell it this way. I don't have my tripod out. I don't have my tripod out. So this is so dramatic, but I promise you it's worth it. So look, I always wanted to live in a big city, and I decided on Chicago. When I did move to Chicago, I'm not gonna name any places, but I was looking for things that I could afford, which was nothing, basically, because you can't live in Chicago. Okay. The cost of living is much higher than Indiana. So, you know, living in Chicago is going to cost you a little bit more money. But I was so broke, like so broke. And I was not able to live in the Chicago that I wanted to live in. Like, when I thought Chicago, I was thinking high-rise luxury apartment. I didn't know, and maybe just my naivete or whatever, in my ignorance, I didn't know that there were different Chicagos. And what I mean by that is there is a Chicago that's like, see, I'm trying not to be, it's not messy. I'm trying to be PC, but this is the thing. The Chicago that I was living in was not the Chicago that I wanted to live in. And I was living in that Chicago for 9 years, working, scraping, trying my best to get to a better position. And it just seemed like I kept running into shady person after shiesty person after whatever. And like, people don't care. They take advantage of you. They lie to you. They take advantage, like companies will take advantage of you, all types of things. Employers will take advantage of you. Oh my goodness. And I remember asking my employer, my last employer, is it possible for a person to be honest and still make it to, you know, being successful and being wealthy and blah, blah, blah. He says, yeah, but not very often, and it would take a very long time. So I was like, dang, like, like, whoa. And then it hit me, like, because I was in it, like, working hard. I was taking 2 buses and a train just to get to this job that wasn't treating me very well, wasn't paying me very much, and trying their best to get every single skill and talent out of me for this much money. And I'm like, man, I'm not out here trying to take advantage. I'm not out here trying to get over. I just want what I feel I deserve. And I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to be happy. And I wanted to run my own thing. So as tough as COVID has been on the world, on individuals, on families, on finances, on psyches, on mental health, it has been also a blessing in disguise for me, because, you know, we lost people this year and it's been rough, but there's a resilience about a lot of us that like a silent strength that we don't even know that we have. And when the pandemic hit and we shut down in March, that Monday, I remember asking my employer, I sent a message asking my employer, what's the game plan for this? No response. Like, didn't respond, didn't call me, didn't send an email, didn't text me, no response. And me being who I am, don't really like this job anyway. Now, at first, I was like, no, that's not true. At first, I was more positive about it, more optimistic about it, because I was like, well, at least it's something steady. I was going through a separation which later was divorce. But I was going through a separation, and I was like starting from scratch. Like I was starting from in the hole. Like forget scratch. I was starting negative. I was starting from behind, and I had to build myself up from negative and try to take care of myself, pay the bills and all that type of stuff. And it was hard. I spent so many nights crying, and like I remember being like counting out my money to the T. Like, okay, I remember like when I got a check, I'm like, okay, rent is paid. Now let's work on the bills. And then I get my next check. I'm like, okay. Oh, all the bills are paid. Now I can get groceries. And then it was like, okay, I can only get this much worth of groceries. And I was like rationing out my food. It was crazy, but I was determined to be okay. I was determined to make it. And all the while I'm working on my relationship with God, and I started learning like, okay, I am going to be okay. I'm doing what I need to do. And God said that if he takes care of the sparrow, you don't think he gonna take care of you? You way more important. And so I was like, you know what? I didn't relax, but I started growing more confident. Like, okay, I'm going hard, I'm working, I'm trying to do what I need to do, but I know God got me. And faith with works. So I'm still putting in the work, but I have the faith that I'm going to be okay. I don't have to stress and worry and wonder. So bring it all the way back to, well, I guess I should give you the update. So then I started my business, and I started making more money. And then I was able to like just be like, okay, I know for a fact that bills are paid, food's on the table. Let me put some money into my business or whatever. Like I got to the point where like I was okay, like I was good. And then, but I wanted more. I was okay where I was, but I still wanted my dream. I still wanted my high rise. I still wanted the comfortable life, but I was just grinding every day. And so, when I asked my boss that question, do you think, a person can be honest and a good person and still be successful, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, maybe. Basically, it was discouraging. And I had these thoughts like, okay, I might have to be ruthless. I don't know how. I don't know how I would be ruthless. It's funny to think about now, but I was like, okay, I might have to just, if I want to live in Chicago and I want to do my thing and have what I want, I might have to get in there, like get in where I fit in with how everybody else is and just be the same way and get mine. And then I was like, yeah, no, like that's not gonna work. And then it hit me. I realized that may be the way of the world. But the way that God works, he qualifies you for things that you wouldn't qualify for in the eyes of other people. He takes care of his own. He wants us to have our storehouses full. He wants us to have new wine and new wineskins. He wants us to have all of these things because when we get them, all the glory belongs to him. And when people see us glorifying God for the things that he's blessed us with, like I'm in my high-rise apartment and I know for a fact it ain't because of me. Yes, I put in work. Yes, I've been holding on to faith and doing what I needed to do, but to come from where I came from, like to start where I started and to be here 2 years later. What? that ain't me. That can't be me. I know it's not me. That's all God. And I give him the glory, the honor, and the praise for every single thing that has happened in my life. Like that, this, and I was getting all excited in the beginning to set this up and tell this part, because there's a book. I actually sell it on my website, writemindstudio.com. There's a book called The Dream Giver. Wait, is this the same book? Yes. Okay. The Dream Giver. And this guy has a dream, and I'm not going to tell the whole thing, but he has a dream, and the dream is symbolized by a feather. And you know, his mom let her feather turn to dust. His dad let his feather turn to dust, and he just wanted more. Like, there was something different in him. He wanted more, so he took his feather and decided he was gonna actually go after his dream. The excitement of going, boom, yes, but then like setbacks and people's opinions and all kinds of things just coming at him, to where he had to be determined to go and do what he was going to do. Otherwise, every single thing would have turned him around. And then he got to a point, and this is scary if you've ever been here, and if you ever get to this point, it's scary when you're so far gone that you can't turn around and come back, but you're afraid to go forward into that unknown. You don't know what's out there. That is like the craziest. You're so far out that you have to keep going, and you just keep finding like obstacle after obstacle after challenge after setback, and it gets tedious. And then the part that I'm really stuck on, in his dream, before he ever went anywhere, before he ever started the journey, in his dream, he saw a beautiful city of gold, like a beautiful city. And he saw the name of the city on the gate, and he was like, oh, that's my dream? I'm going to get that. I'm going to get it. But as he went to get it, it was so much he had to go through to get to the point. And then at one point, he's up on this mountain, and the city is down at the bottom of the mountain. So he goes down to the city, and the city is dirty, dingy, trashy, and it looks nothing like his dream. Nothing like his dream. And you got to think the discouragement in that. And something happens. He starts helping these people, and they start building brick by brick, building the city up, and cleaning it up, and changing things. And when he got done working, when he got done helping, when he got done being on purpose in this place, he looked around, saw the name on the gate of the place, and realized he just built his dream. Now, when you look around, it's pristine. Now, when you look around, it looks exactly the way that he saw it in his dream. And he was on his way to the next thing. So, like, when you're in the trenches, and I know this for a fact. Matter of fact, when I was putting my furniture together last night, it just seemed like, my back was hurting, and I was tired. I was starving. I was hungry. Not starving. I was hungry. I hadn't eaten anything all day. And I'm just sitting on the floor, boxes stacked up. Now the furniture box is ripped open, and I'm like trying to read the instructions and put stuff together. Realized I put something on backwards and needed to flip the thing over and do it a different way. When I tell you, like, the tedious work that goes into building something, almost anything worth having, is crazy. Like, for me to be sitting inside of all of that clutter and sitting inside of this unfinished thing, and it's depending on my dedication, it's depending on my work to get me to the finished result of having my furniture put together and having things looking better. It took a while, but in the end, I was able to sit back on my sofa and look around like, okay, I did that. I finished this project. I accomplished this thing. And that's what this is. Like, I wanted to live in this Chicago, like in a neighborhood like this, in a high rise like this. I wanted to have a comfortable life, a certain standard or quality of life. I wanted a certain quality of life. And to have that now is an amazing blessing. But I'm already on to the next thing. That's how God works. I'm already working towards that next goal, that next dream. And I can't say enough, like, it's worth the work that you put in. And sometimes it might get hard. Sometimes it might seem like it's never coming together. Sometimes it might seem like it's just too many parts and pieces, and the instructions are all over the place. And in life, a lot of times we don't even get instructions. There's no manual like, okay, how do you do this part? How do you do the romance part of life? Wait, how do you do the financial part of life? Like, there is no blueprint. There's no user manual to figure this stuff out, and you just are kind of on your own, and everybody's situation works differently. So if nothing else, what I want you to get from my little story is to just keep going. Trust God, get in his word, and keep going. Like, there's no way to get to the finish line if you sit down, if you stop, if you don't move forward anymore. But you gotta keep moving forward. If you get tired, rest. Take time to rest. And then get up and keep going. But if you're just like, this just isn't gonna work, and you quit, that's not going to work for you or anybody else who is tied to your purpose. Now, I know you've heard me say this before. If you've been with me, if you've been watching my videos, then you've heard me say before, your purpose is tied to somebody else's purpose. And if you don't do your job, they'll never be sparked into action to get on their stuff. So take your responsibility seriously and go do exactly what God has purposed for you to do, and you will see things change. You'll see your life change. You'll see all these things happen for you, and you'll just be in awe, like, man, I am here. I did this, or I have this under my belt now. I wanted to be an author. Published my book 2 years ago. I wanted to be a business owner, and I started my business 2 years ago, but it wasn't really doing very much. And I think it's because I didn't know completely what I was doing, And then on top of that, I was in survival mode. I was trying to make sure I was able to pay my bills and to put food on the table. So I was like, well, this thing is paying me, so I'm doing this and I'll work on my business later. And then when the pandemic hit, it gave me all the time in the world to put my energy and my focus into my business. And now my business is doing way better than it was doing before. And I'm like, okay, what's next, God? Like, after you build your faith up so much, and after you have so many instances that you can pull up, like, well, God brought me through this, he saw me through this, he did this, he blessed me like this, he did this in my life, then it becomes a little easier to trust him. But the way that God works, he stretches you, right? So the next dream is even bigger and scarier, and the next dream, you know, calls for more of your strength, or more of your mental capacity, or more of your creativity, or something that calls for you to give more of yourself. And once you do that, you see God work in ways that you never even thought of before, like ways you couldn't even fathom. You'll see happen in your life, and you're like, what is going on right now? But as you can see, I'm dealing with some dryness right now. There's some dryness in my sinuses. I'm gonna go kind of take care of all of that stuff, and I'm probably gonna separate this video, one into the story I just told, and then one of you know, me waking up in my new high-rise luxury apartment, whatever. I love it. It's mine. To that, and then doing like little errands for the house today. I'll probably do 2 separate videos for that, because I know I can be long-winded sometimes. So yeah, I'm gonna head out and do all of that. I need to wash my hair too, but that's probably not gonna happen until at least Monday. But yeah, see you in a little bit. And for this video, whichever one, keep working towards your dreams, keep working towards your goals. It works out. It works out. Stay beautiful on the inside. Peace. And cover up my fingers.